What's going on, guys? Ghost Caliber here, and I know I haven't made like a long form video in a while, but I tried to make this video multiple times as a part of my short form content, right? Like the content I've really been pushing out because it's bringing in the views and it helps with my other long form videos, right? But I kept trying. I kept trying and I kept trying, and there was no way to really say it, right? This video is something that really hits home to me with I have been with the Devil May Cry series for years now, right? I was originally introduced to it from a game called Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Sorry. Now, that's how I was introduced to Dante, and from the moment I played as him, right, I knew that he was like aura incarnate, right? Like he was cool. Just from that game alone, like if you remember the scene in the, I think it was like the promotional material or the intro to the game where he was fighting Deadpool, dude. Look it up on YouTube. It's like 28 seconds. It is amazing. Now, when I heard that there was going to be a Devil May Cry show after playing all 6 of the Devil May Cry games multiple times over because I love Dante as a character. Dante is my favorite video game character, right? I've cosplayed him. I've gone to events dressed as him. I own a replica of Rebellion. I own a Dante jacket, right? Like I am a huge Dante fanatic, right? If you go into my content, a lot of my short form content, I have argued a lot, especially in the versus scene, just bringing up Dante as a character and his feats and whatnot, right? Like I am very well versed in his lore and the lore of Devil May Cry. So when I heard there was a show, I, like a lot of other Devil May Cry fans, were excited, especially with the first trailer we saw. It looked amazing. And it's sad that when the show first came out, I'm going to be honest with you, I really enjoyed the show. But I have an issue, which is an issue that I am well aware of, which is why I try to experience things multiple times before I make a video on it, because I don't want to make a follow-up video taking back everything I say, is because I have a tendency to get excited, especially when it's things I like, and then I see things through rose-tinted glasses, and it kind of affects my critical analysis of certain things, right? For example, when Black Ops 4 first came out, I'm not going to lie to you, I thought it was the best zombies ever because I was looking at it through rose-tinted glasses. Same thing with Battle for Neighborville. When Battle for Neighborville came out, I thought it was the best Garden Warfare game ever. I thought it was the best Plants vs. Zombie game ever because rose tinted glasses, right? And I kind of did the same thing with the show. I really enjoyed the show on my first watch, and I thought like, oh my god, this anime is the best. Like it should be anime of the year, right? Oh my god, Dante is so cool. Except when it came to certain scenes, which I will get into later on in this video, because this is going to be one of my longer form videos, like a video essay, if you will, akin to my Plants vs. Zombies theory, which I will be making, probably making a follow up on. But yeah, on my second and third and fourth watches, it got worse and worse because as the rose tinted glasses started to fade, more of my critical thinking and real harsh analysis of the show started to fit in. So, without further ado, this is my video essay on why the Devil May Cry show is a disappointment and is disrespectful to the series. But first, not but first, now let me go into the positives. So now on to the positive. This is probably going to be the shortest section of this video because I do not have a lot to say that's really good about this show. So, first things first, the voice acting, right? Everyone gave a stunning vocal performance, right? Especially since I didn't do a lot of research into the show beforehand. So, hearing Kevin Conroy's voice as the vice president was a pleasant surprise. Because in my mind, I thought his final vocal performance was going to be Batman in Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, which I'm glad that that's not the last thing we hear him in because that game was awful. But again, with Johnny Young Bosch, right? His vocal performance was amazing. The only problem I have there is He plays Nero in the games. So when I'm hearing his voice, I don't hear Dante. He didn't try to put, like, it didn't feel like he embodied any of Dante's energy. And with that, it's like, dude, all I hear is Nero. But his vocal performance is still amazing, right? Same with everybody, right? I felt the emotion. I felt exactly what emotion each character was trying to convey, and it was like really every actor and actress a part of this project. I can tell they were really giving it their all and really trying to put their best foot forward, and it was amazing. And my final thing I got to touch on with this show that I do believe is amazing was the art design. The art design, beautiful. Every single scene looked like it was made with purpose and intention, and I don't think there was a single part of the show at all where I thought, man, this looks dull, this looks boring, this looks stupid. I don't think I ever said that, not once during my 4 times watching this show. Right? It was one of the few things that made the show watchable. And yeah, on to the next segment is pretty much the world. So the world of the Devil May Cry anime is a little confusing, right? Because America is used a lot, and let's be real here, there's not really a reason why it should be. So the White Rabbit wants to bring demons to Earth from Makai, because Makai is like a real shithole, really. Like using ladies' words in the show, it's horrible. And it's like they can barely breathe. There's monsters around trying to kill everything, and it's like a horrible place to live. And so they're trying to bring them to Earth, right? Now, I wonder, why did the showrunners decide America should be the place to go? Like, in terms of the world, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, right? Because let's be real here. The world is a pretty big place, right? And these demons wouldn't have any sort of clue about the geopolitical landscape to know that America is a desirable place to be. And from the sounds of it, with like a lot of the dialogue that White Rabbit has, you would assume that he doesn't really like America all like that. And the fact that we know, and he knows too later on, that America would interfere because they have Darkcom, which we're going to touch on Darkcom in a second. After he messes up the first time and gets a lot of his people killed and gets injured, I don't know why he tries to go back to America, right? Because, like I said, the world's a big place. You could go to anywhere else that wouldn't have the same protections like America does against your sort of demonic threat, right? So that makes zero sense, and I feel like it was just a thing that they use because they're trying to have like this anti-imperialist message or anti-American message, which is pretty blatant through the show, which I don't think I need to touch too much on that because I'm assuming that if you're watching this, you've already watched the show. But now let's talk about Darkcom. So, Darkcom in the show shouldn't even exist, let's be real here, because the whole thing is pretty much lady, right? Like, the rest of the Darkcom operatives are on fucking fraud watch, right? Because the first time they do anything in the show, they fucking die. Like, that's hilarious, right? They die, and then, oh, there's a flashback where they actually fight from killing unarmed, non-violent demons. Bro, frauds. Now I see why when they were fighting Dante, when they were fighting the other named demons, they didn't do shit. Because they can't do shit. They're frauds, right? And I feel like Darkcom was only used so that Adi could put some other characters that he thought would look cool into the show. When in reality, they don't do shit. Speaking of characters they take in that also don't do shit are the Devil Hunters, right? So pretty much what I'm trying to sum up here with Darkcom and the Devil Hunters is that this is needless fluff that does not need to be in the show, right? It doesn't need to be there. Because like I said, Darkcom's operatives didn't do anything for most of the show, and then when they do, they fucking die. That's so silly. Same thing with the Devil Hunters. They're there for one episode just so we can get this montage of people being questioned, and then that's it. And then they get Dante, which that's another thing, which is going to be in the next segment. Is the next segment is all going to be about Dante, right? That's where I have most of my gripes with the show. But yeah, the Devil Hunters and Dark Calm shouldn't even be here, right? Because like I said, it's all fluff, like to show like a little references here and there. Like, oh yeah, look, it's Lucia. Yeah, you know her from Devil May Cry 2, the game that a lot of people say you should just fucking skip. And if you've played all the Devil May Cry games, it has the least lore significance, right? Because even the game developers act like for at Capcom act like the game doesn't even fucking exist. So anyway, on to the next segment about everyone's favorite Devil May Cry character, and if he's not, you're fucking lying, Dante. Now this segment is called the character assassination of Dante for a reason, because I believe that the showrunners and Adi Shankar had no idea who Dante was, what he represents, how he acts, right? A part of me doesn't even think they played the games, because Dante in the show feels like he's trying to be Dante from the games, right? Like, honestly, this Dante is so bad that I, along with a lot of other people, think that Ninja Theory's DMC Dante is a lot better representation of Dante, right? And I'm going to go into why that is. Because this version's Dante, from the first episode, he's not very confident, right? And you're probably wondering, well, how is he not that confident? Like, he's fighting demons head on, yada, yada, yada. Well, when he kills the demon, he says a one-liner and then says, oh, it wasn't my best. Wait, hold on. Pretend I just shot that guy. And then he tries again, and then he fails. And it's like, brother, the real Dante would have said something and left. That's how he is. Be like, you're okay? Cool, I'm out. Like, that's just how Dante is. He's confident in himself that he'll play around. He's flippant. He's foolhardy, right? And that's the words of Virgil saying, but per representation, right? And Dante is very misused here, right? Like, he is very weak and strong, right? It's very inconsistent. So, example, he gets hit in the face by a regular woman with a purse and he buckles down. Tries to find her again, loses her, right? Okay. Then he stands there, takes a point blank shotgun shot to the chest, does not move, and is just perfectly fine. Even though we've seen him dodge multiple rounds of machine gun fire, pistol fire, submachine gun fire, like, he dodged that effortlessly. Then when he has a confrontation with Lady, he gets kicked in the chest, which pushes him completely off of her. So you're telling me that these women are regular humans but are stronger than point blank shotgun shots? Be so fucking for real. Oof, man, we're gonna talk about Lady in the next segment. That's gonna be, oof, I got a lot to say there. But Dante also couldn't break out of these restraints, which I think is weird because we know Dante. Like, it's so weird looking at a Dante that is so weak, right? Because honestly, most of the problems in the show, you can't convince me, especially like how they show Lady. Dante doesn't need to be there, right? Because it's like, yeah, okay, they need his blood. He is pretty much the MacGuffin. And it's like, wow. So, realistically, if he just didn't do shit, there would be no problem. Okay? And he doesn't even save the day, pretty much. He doesn't fight the final boss guy and win, right? That's pretty much getting, like, Lady pretty much does that shit, right? And it's like, Dante, with his inconsistency, is we see him dodge multiple rounds of machine gun fire, like various bullets, like various rounds, right? Then when Lady fights him, he couldn't dodge rounds from a pistol. Now, I'm not sure how much you guys know about firearms, but if I am correct, which I guarantee you I am, machine gun rounds are faster than pistol rounds, or at least have more velocity, right? And he was able to dodge those effortlessly. And it wasn't even just one guy, it was multiple. And yet you couldn't dodge a woman with a pistol. Regular human, by the way. Why not? It's not like you can't perceive bullets. We just saw you in the episode prior save a bunch of people in a diner as a truck was crashing into it. So we know you're fast, but yet you got hit with handgun rounds. I can't suspend my disbelief like that, you know? Like, that's just something that does not work. And then, to pile it on, the inconsistency is he fights Agni, Rudra, Cavaliere, and Echidna on the road on a motorcycle. Fights all four of them. Actually, no, I don't think he fought Cavaliere. Right? But, point being, he fought multiple named demons. Beats the shit out of all of them. And then his head blows up because of the bomb that lady placed in his neck. Okay. Now when it's time to just fight Agni and Rudra, not on stable ground because I know they're on a plane, but when it comes time to just throw down with them, you should have an easier time because you're not on a bike. You're not on a motorcycle. You're not dealing with other people. You're not dealing with Echidna shooting those damn thorns at you. But no, you have a harder time apparently. They're just whooping your fucking ass. Which makes no sense because you quite literally effortlessly beat them. You took their weapons, used it against them on a motorcycle. And you beat Echidna. So you can't be this inconsistent and expect me to not question that as I'm watching it. And half of these observations I was questioning during my first watch, by the way. So seeing it again after, as I said in the intro, my rose-tinted glasses faded, I just got more angry because it's like, why are y'all doing this to Dante, the main character? Right? It doesn't make any sense. And no, it doesn't make sense. The Glaze of Lady, which is our next segment. So, I feel like Adi Shankar might have a little crush on Lady because the fact that this show went from Devil May Cry to the Lady Show was so weird, right? Like, I knew it was odd on my second watch when I realized there's a whole episode about Lady's backstory, but we don't have one about Dante. We got like a little segment, like a little small clip of his backstory when we could have gotten more, but we didn't because Lady's the main character. If you didn't know, if you didn't watch the show, Lady is the main character of the show. She is low-key better than everyone. Like I said, Dark Calm operatives, they don't do a single thing. Even when it's time to fight Dante, to apprehend him, it's all Lady. And then they show up at the end to do a little pose and shit. And it's like, what did you do other than sit in a van? Y'all stepped out to catch a pose and then went back in the van. Wow. Right? And the thing about Lady is strong in the games, right? Like, we see her ice demons and shit. That's because she had, like, superior tactics in the game. But then again, the strength of Dante and Virgil, you're not beating that. Be honest with yourselves here. And there's a lore reason for why Dante and Virgil are so strong. Because they have that human blood in them that their demon powers can feed off of. Well, devil powers, but you get what I'm saying. And the fact that Lady is a normal human in the show and just beating the fuck out of Dante at every turn is so annoying. And how she's able to beat Echidna, who we can already see can react faster to bullets, and beat Echidna by shooting her. Wow. That, like, things like that make me, like, watch the show and it's like, dude, this is horrible. Okay, we have a character who can react to bullets, and yet your main attack is bullets. I'm thinking, okay, she's probably gonna, like, change up her tactic, right? She's probably gonna, like, plant a trap or something. She planted a trap for plasma, which was pretty smart, but at the same time, it wasn't, because she had no idea how his powers worked. He explained his powers to one guy, and let's be real, it was really just to explain it to the audience, right? Where he talked about how his powers work on quantum mirroring and whatnot. The fact is, Lady, in terms of the show, Lady does not know that. Only the guy that he explained that to would know that. So, I don't understand what power move she was trying to make. Like, to us, when we watch it, we're like, oh yeah, we know how his powers work. But when you think about it, she doesn't. So, what was she trying to do there? Being like, oh yeah, you need me alive. You can take me. You can get farther into Darkcom. And it's like, how the fuck do you know how his powers work? To your knowledge, it could be like Mr. 2 from One Piece. Bro just gotta see you memorize what you look like, and then boom, he's you. Like, you don't know that it has, like, it's quantum mirroring and you need to be alive for him to copy you. You don't know that. We do, as the audience, because he explained it to us. But you don't, right? And it's so weird how she shoots Echidna, and it works. When we've seen her react to multiple rounds of gunfire, just like Dante. And it's just, oh yeah, a few well-placed shots from a pistol again kills a demon that can react to bullets. That sounds exactly the same as what happened to Dante. Because these writers love Lady. I feel like it's Adi Shankar really who loves Lady, because he's taking a lot of the responsibility for what happened in the show, and he's just the fucking producer. It's so strange to me. But let's get back to the point, right? Lady is so glazed in this show that at the end, when White Rabbit and Dante are having that clash, and White Rabbit's just beating the fuck out of him, mind you, Dante would have whooped his ass. Dante at his weakest could have whooped his ass. But not in the eyes of these people who probably never touched a Devil May Cry game in their entire lives. Let's be real here. And the reason I say that is because some of the, like, one of the characters shouldn't even be there. Like, Cavallari shouldn't even be there. Agni and Rudra shouldn't even be there. Because the Temin Negru was not built yet. But well, I digress. Let's get back to the Glaze of Lady. When she saves Dante by, again, using her fuck-ass handgun and shoots White Rabbit in the chest, saving Dante from getting his ass beat, she has the audacity to say Dante's catchphrase, jackpot. And Dante's catchphrase, jackpot, has a lot of emotional and lore significance to him as a character, which we're going to be getting into that. A lot of the things that they use in this show that are meant for characters and that these guys do not understand. But that's going to be in the mishandling of Virgil section, which is right next. But when Lady does this, when I first watched it, I was audibly upset, right? I outwardly said, because I was watching the show with my brother, actually, and I said, what the fuck? Why her? Why did she say his catchphrase? Why couldn't he save himself? And let's be honest, when season 2 of this show comes out, Dante can't just magically get stronger because we see him in a vat of water at the end. Just in a vat. It's not like he's training. Right? It's not like he's going to magically get stronger. We see him with Ebony and Ivory in the promotional, like, picture. But it's like, who gives a fuck? Okay, he has a gun that won't run out of ammo because it's imbued with his power. Who cares when he gets his ass kicked by Lady? Like, no, none of that matters when Lady is just beating the shit out of everybody, right? Like, why even send Dante to do anything? Lady's there, right? Like, the U.S. government isn't going to be this stupid, right? Yeah, they might contain Dante, but why would they use him when Lady has been shown to beat him at every turn? If anything, they'd have Lady train another group of human soldiers because they've shown that humans are stronger than demons. The only reason why they're doing this is trying to give you the facade that, oh yeah, Dante's going to come back and be stronger. Your fans are going to love it. No, we're not. But speaking of Lady, we've already talked about Dante. Let's talk about his brother, who only showed up for a little bit, but was very, very mishandled, Virgil. Now, this segment is probably going to be as short, if not shorter, than the positives, or longer. I'm not really 100% sure. So, the mishandling of Virgil, which is going to be an odd segment because he doesn't show up that much. I think he has a grand total of like, I might just be overestimating here, like 5 minutes of screen time. And I'm not counting Plasma either, right? Which, mind you, they kind of already spoiled that Virgil was alive because of Plasma, but that's besides the point. But why the hell is he Nello Angelo? Like, why does he look like that? Like, that's like a big problem because Virgil hates Mundus. And the only reason why he was Nello Angelo is because at the end of Devil May Cry 3, after he lost his fight with Dante, he almost immediately starts scrapping with Mundus after the portal to the underworld closes. Mind you, he's still weakened because, like I just said, he got his ass kicked by Dante. Mind you, this guy they both were going back-to-back fights, right? They fought, what was it? Arkham. Yeah, they fought Arkham with Sparta's power. Then, immediately after, so scrapping with each other. And then after Virgil lost that fight, he has to scrap Mundus. So then Mundus is like, you know what? You'd be the perfect soldier without all these, like, emotion shit. How about I take that away? Now you're just going to be mindless soldier for me fighting. And that's exactly what happens. That's why he's Nello Angelo. It was not by choice. It's because he got his ass kicked. Understandably so. Because he got his ass kicked already by his brother. Right? So the fact that he's willingly Nello Angelo here after knowing Mundus killed his fucking mother is insane. Why? And then when they show Virgil at the end freeing demons, being like, oh yeah, they don't know the storm that is approaching, then they play the song. It's like, bro, Virgil would never do that. Like, Virgil, I want powered Sparta? Really? He wouldn't do that. He'd be trying his hardest to be the strongest, most powerful. That's his entire gimmick. He don't give a fuck about you. He kills demons. He murks people. He don't care. He is strength. Like, he is the might makes right personified. If you're taken prisoner, he would look at you like a bitch. He would look at you like a bitch anyway. But even more like one because you got captured by humans who are weaker than demons. Which is shown in the show as well because of the environment that they came from. So, Dante would not Dante, well, my fault. Virgil would leave you there to rot. They wouldn't be trying to help you. Right? Like, the fact that they show this is like, do y'all even pay attention to the show? Like, it did not pay attention to the show. Did y'all even pay attention to the games when you were making the show? It's like, nothing in this show has, and it's going to be silly to say, but has anything to do with the game. Like, nothing. The characters are not the same in any way. They don't even try to act the same. They act like caricatures of their characters from the game, but without any of the substance, right? With Dante, it's like he's pretending to be Dante. Lady swears like a fucking sailor and isn't cool, calm, and collected at all. She's like always angry. Virgil, In the few moments we see him, he's already done the one thing he would never do, and that's align himself willingly with Mundus. And then another thing he would never do is liberate demons. That's not who he is. But anyway, that's really all I gotta say, because it's like, that's all they show us. So on to the next segment, which is going to be talking about the mischaracterization of Sparta. So I gotta say that this part is really what gets me, right? This is one of the things that I feel like makes the show as bad as it is, right? The similarities between humans and devils, right, is a plot point that in this show does not it doesn't work the way you think it is, right? It in fact makes a lot more things confusing, because one, if they're all like us, then why do people care about Sparta, right? Because let's be real here. If Sparta goes against this demon regime, right, just because he randomly wanted to one day, why are we only talking about Sparta, right? Like, we would know about all the other demons who would have done the same thing, right? Like, there would be whole teams of demons doing the same thing, because that's just how people work. We have things like this in the real world, where there's like regimes, and we know about people who turned against those regimes, right? It's not just one person, it's swaths of people, right? So why aren't this same thing happening with demons, right? Now, if you don't understand, the thing about Sparta is demons are inherently evil in Devil May Cry, right? They're all inherently evil, to contrast that humans are inherently good, right? That later on, that humans could be tainted by the power that demons have, because demons are also stronger than humans. So humans can be tainted by that want for power, that want to be as powerful as a demon, as we see with Arkham, right? And the king from, or whatever, I forgot his name, but he was from Devil May Cry 2, right? But people like that, they get tainted by the power of demons. Whereas we see with Sparta in the games that, well, we don't see it, but we are told this, that Sparta learned compassion from Eve, right? Or was it one of the novels? But he learned compassion from Eve, and his love and his compassion for this woman turned him against his demon brethren. That is a story of love, which that is the main theme of Devil May Cry, is love, right? We see this throughout every single game, that the overarching theme is love, and how love and humanity can beat out any evil, right? That's just what we see. And then in the show, they try to tell you the same Sparta story, but it doesn't work now, because now I'm questioning if humans or and demons don't have that much differentiation, why do we care about just Sparta? What about the other guys? Because there would be other guys. What about them? Right? And now, if demons have been around for this long and people know of them, so much so that we have dark com agents, right? Why are we killing them? Like, we would know that some of them are good, because apparently they've been going on for years, and this isn't the first time they've tried to cross over, apparently. So we would know. So all this leads to the fact that the show doesn't work, because none of the shit makes sense. When you think about it for more than 5 seconds, it doesn't make any sense. And it's like, really, like, no one, especially not Adi Shankar, watched the show. Speaking of Adi Shankar, that's what the next segment is about. So this next segment is pretty much just a rant about Adi Shankar, a guy who, on one hand, feigns like he's taking the criticism, but then on the other hand, just laughs it off, like he doesn't actually give a fuck. When I feel like the only reason why he had the rights to the show, to like the animation rights, is because he cosplayed him one time. It's like, dude, you don't know Dante as a character. You don't understand what he means. You don't understand the themes of Devil May Cry. You really don't give a fuck. You probably played, let's be honest here, you probably played the Ninja Theory Devil May Cry and thought that that was just like how all the games are. Oh yeah, the anti-capitalist message, the anti-media, conservative media message, which, if you didn't know, that's kind of like a heavy thing in uh, Ninja Theory's Devil May Cry. Gameplay alone for that game is pretty solid, though. I mean, I highly recommend you play it. It's pretty solid. And honestly, this is a funny thing, which this show came out, it made that game better. Because I feel like it's the fact that we know that at the time, we thought it couldn't get much worse than that. It's like, okay, you can't get much worse than Ninja Theory Devil May Cry. But now that the show came out, it's like, okay, you can get worse. And so now that's better. It's so weird when things like that happen, right? Like, it happened with zombies, right? I know I'm getting a little off topic, but I'll digress in a minute. But it's like that, where Black Ops 4, when that came out, it was the worst zombies. And then fucking Cold War drops. Not Cold War. Well, Cold War drops, people enjoyed it. And then Vanguard drops, right? And the zombies kept getting worse, more bland, right? Cold War was bland. And so we saw what happened in Black Ops 4, where people started to enjoy it a bit more. And then Vanguard dropped, and people started to enjoy it a lot more. But I digress. Back to the point about Adi Shankar here, which he does this. Apparently he did this with Castlevania. Mind you, I'm not going to touch on it a lot because I can't touch on the quality of that show because I did not watch it. But from what I've heard, that he took the characters from Castlevania and just made his own story. Right? And I can believe that because he did that with Devil May Cry. He took the characters, changed them to fuck, and then just made his own thing. And it's like, come on now. That's not what we want. Like, it sucks. And I'm annoyed about it because Adi Shankar got the rights to Duke Nukem. Mind you, Duke Nukem, contrary to what people think, is such a complex character, and the world is something that's complex, that not a lot of people really understand him and his world. Right? I could do a whole video talking about Duke Nukem because he is my second favorite video game character. He was my favorite for a very long time. For the longest time, ever since I was a little kid, he was my favorite video game character. I loved Duke Nukem. And I feel like, especially since the Devil May Cry games, I would love to say, like, I think, personally, you can prove me wrong on this, if I am. I'd say that Duke Nukem is a lot more niche, especially today, than Devil May Cry. So the Devil May Cry games are a lot more readily available, so you can get the lore, you can play the games, you can really understand the world that you're looking at. And the fact that he didn't do that for these games, which, let's be honest, they're not that long. Okay, they're not really long games, right? Like, honestly, you can get through a couple of, like, I want to say like 5 or 6 missions in the first Devil May Cry game in less than an hour, right? Especially if you know where you're going. But even then, it's not that long, even if you don't know what you're doing. And the fact that he's going to really disregard the criticism that he's going to get for that he already disregarded the criticism that he got for this, that he's going to do the same thing with Duke Nukem and with any other projects that he's on. He's going to take the character, scrub them of everything that made them, and then just tell his own story that's probably going to be shit, right? And I can't be excited for, it sucks because I can't be excited for something that legitimately I should be excited for. And if it seems like I'm really upset and really emotional at this, is because, let's be honest here. If you've seen my channel, you know the games that I like. And everything that I fucking like has been turned to shit for some reason, right? Example, the Borderlands movie, my bad, I only said movies. The Borderlands movie is hands down the worst movie I have seen in a very, very long time. It was the worst adaptation I have ever seen. No, it wasn't. It's the second worst adaptation I've ever seen. My fault. I almost forgot about the Netflix Resident Evil show. But it is the second worst adaptation I've ever... Actually, no, it is the worst adaptation that I've ever seen. I had to say that is worse than the Resident Evil show. And then I get the Devil May Cry show after the Borderlands movie. right? And I'm like, okay, I'm excited. The animation looks fire. The trailers look fire. The show, fire first watch. Second, okay, it's not that good, but it's still good. Third, okay, this shit's ass. Fourth, please get this off my screen. Then with Adi Shankar just straight ignoring the criticism and not really giving a fuck, and then season 2 of the show got greenlit, and I know it's gonna be more of the fucking same, so I can't even get the relief of knowing that the next time he does this, he's gonna be better. It's most likely not. I have no reason to believe it's not, because he hasn't shown enough initiative that he will change and listen to the fans of the series that this show was marketed towards. That's the main thing that gets me mad, is that it wasn't like other adaptations where it's like, oh yeah, it's not really marketed towards the fans, right? It's like, it's not really made for the fans. It's not really made for you. This was. Same with the fucking Borderlands movie. It was made for the fans, and yet we just got shit on. And then I'm a big fan of Duke Nukem. I'm gonna get shit on again by this fucking guy who won't take criticism and won't have the creativity to make his own thing with his own characters for it to be compelling. He uses characters that we already like because he knows we're gonna come and watch his next project because we like these characters. He is not creative enough to make his own thing compelling. That's why he takes. And it pisses me off. But on to the last segment of the video. Sorry I got a little bit heated in my last segment, but this is the epilogue. My final thoughts about the show and what I think season 2 will be like going forward. And mind you, what I'm going to say is going to be completely serious. I'm not going to try to joke in this segment. So, I really dislike the show. The show is a very big disappointment, especially since I was super excited for it. From the moment the first trailer dropped, I saw it within the first hour of it being live, and I was excited. I was super excited for it. And I'm not 100% sure if I made a video on it when it first dropped. I think I did, but I was really excited. It's my favorite video game character. Honestly, I love Dante. And knowing that there's going to be a season 2 and that he has gotten a lot of criticism, but seeing how he's reacted to a lot of it, it's like I can't say that it's going to be better. I want it to be, and I would say it's wishful thinking that it will be. But as of right now, I cannot say that. I cannot say within good faith that he will improve in any way. That Dante, his character, will be redeemed in some way. I can't say that in good faith. But what I will say is that it would be a nice watch if you just turned your brain off and didn't think about anything. I mean, probably good background noise too. If you're one of those people who just turn on the show just to work on your computer or play the game or something. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, subscribe, turn on post notifications because my next video, like a video essay, is going to be about Wonderlands. And like, subscribe, share the video out. That's the best thing you do for the channel. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.